So, I am here so that you can pick my brain. So, if you have any questions about using essential oils safely, then I'm your gal. You can ask your questions here to me, and I will do my very best to answer you. And if I don't know, I'll let you know. If I can find the answer, I'll let you know. I'll find the answer for you. Whatever the case is, ask your questions below. Meanwhile, as you guys are typing your questions to me, I am going to go check out the pending posts so that I can answer some of those questions. So let's see. Right. Yes. So there's a question from the other day that I was going to take live, and let me do this now. So Sarah has a question about her 21-month-old. No, that's not true. Okay, let me just read it for you. A friend just shared this as a remedy she used on her 21-month-old around the mouth for hand, foot, and mouth. Other than the obvious not ingesting, especially in water, is there any further caution you would give about any of these? And she has a couple of screenshots. Is it a good dilution ratio? I'm sorry, I don't know all the individual essential oils contained in the blends listed. This is exactly as she shared. So let me go ahead and read this. So we have a 2-ounce glass baby food jar, emptied and clean, with organic unrefined coconut oil. And so let me write this down so that I can do some of the calculations. So in 2 ounces, this was recommended. 10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of purification. We have 10 drops of frankincense, and then we have a total of 40 drops. We have 5 drops of thieves, and we have 5 drops of oregano. And this is recommended to apply all over the sores, down the spine, and the bottoms of feet. Wash your hands immediately after. Okay, so first of all, we have 40 drops of essential oil in 2 ounces, which is 20 drops in 1 ounce, which is a little bit over a 3%. So this would be about a 3% dilution. So that's not too bad. The 3% dilution isn't so bad. My concerns are the oregano that has a lot of safety issues. My concern is the Thieves blend that also has a lot of safety issues, and the Purification blend that also has some safety issues. So let me show you guys. I'm going to actually give you guys an inside peek into the EO Blends safety area. So let me turn my screen around for you and zoom in a bit. So you can actually access some of this information for free if you go to this link here. If you scroll all the way down past all of this information telling you about it, all of the blends that are added, if you scroll all the way down here, you can put your information in and request free access, which will give you access to these 18 blends, including Thieves, which we will take a look at. So otherwise, those of you who are already members can access this information here, and I'm going to take a peek for you, and you guys are going to take a peek with me, not only at the Thieves blend, which is available again at the free level, but we will also take a peek at the Purification blend. So this blend is safe for ages 10 and above, and I will tell you now that's because of the eucalyptus, and that's because of the rosemary, both of which contain high amounts of 1,8-cineol, which can cause slowed respiration and labored breathing in children, generally under the age of 10. This is not a safe for pregnancy blend. It's not a blend that's safe for breastfeeding. It's not safe for around your pets. This is a blend you want to avoid if you have bleeding disorders before and after surgery because it is anticoagulant. You don't want to use on damaged or broken skin. So this particular recipe that I'm going over for you guys is recommended for hand, foot, and mouth, and that is damaged or broken skin. Should not be used internally for these reasons. It is anticoagulant, so it will thin the blood. and there are drug interactions even with aspirin and all of these, potentially phototoxic based on the lemon in the blend. So I do not recommend that recipe based on those factors, at least not for a 2-year-old or a 21-month-old. And let's take a look at purification. I don't have that memorized, what exact safety is. So it looks like it's for ages 10 plus. However, we don't know the chemotype of myrtle, so I can't say for sure. But even if that is a safe chemotype that they have here for myrtle, it's still going to be for ages 10 and above based on the rosemary. We also have lemongrass, which has a very low topical max. Again, anticoagulant, similar safety issues there. It does have different drug interactions, potentially carcinogenic based on the myrtle, and we have drug interactions for this as well. So I do not recommend using either one of those blends under the age of 10. So back to the recipe, we have 10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of the purification that we just went over. We have 10 drops of frankincense, 5 drops of thieves, and then we also have oregano, which has similar blood thinning essential oils. Let me just show you guys right here real quick. So these are the safety issues when it comes to oregano essential oil. It's for ages 2 plus, very low topical max of 1.1%, anticoagulant, does have drug interactions, diabetes medication, skin damaged, broken, do not use it pregnant breastfeeding, do not use it around your pets, etc. So that is one that you definitely want to avoid applying topically on a 21-month-old. So the dilution of 3% isn't too bad, but the specific essential oils that are recommended to be used are not something that I would recommend applying to anyone under the age of 10. Also, not to be used for anyone who is pregnant, even taking baby aspirin, etc., etc., etc. So to answer you, Sarah, that is not something that I would recommend to be safe to use on a 21-month-old. So no. And then the next part of the question is suggesting to, apply it 3 times a day. The more the better, preferably every 3 hours. This was a suggestion that Sarah's asking about. Also, listen to this. For sores in the mouth and throat, add 3 drops of thieves oil to 1 to 2 ounces of water and get child to swallow. Do this a few times a day. This will help heal the sores. No, I do not recommend that. So we just went over the thieves blend. We just talked about how it's not safe for under age 10. We talked about its anticoagulant. There's also specifically in that blend the clove and the cinnamon bark, which goes for any thieves type blends such as On Guard, Germ Destroyer, Germ, whatever all of those other anti-germ blends are. The clove and the cinnamon bark have very low topical maxes. Clove has a topical max of 0.5%. Cinnamon bark has a topical max of 0.01%. So when you are using these essential oils topically, it's risky and it can cause sensitization, it can cause irritation, redness, blistering. So there's that. And then if you are adding that blend to water and swallowing, then you have the liver that has to deal with all of those essential oils, which are very strong and potent. We have all of the mucous membranes that are potentially stripped from the essential oils. We have gut bacteria that can be messed with. We have the irritation factor of those low topical max essential oils being used. And we have, this is a 21-month-old child that is being recommended to ingest these very strong, potent essential oils, including oregano. So, Sarah, to answer your question, that is definitely not safe. That is not something that I would recommend, even for adults, to be honest. There are definitely other safer things that you can use instead. So, great question. Hey, Carol, thanks so much for joining live. If anyone has any questions at all, now is your chance to pick my brain. and to get your questions answered. I am here live to answer your questions if you have any. And if this is not a good time for anybody, if everybody's busy and nobody has any questions for me, that is totally fine. I will go do something else. So let me go ahead and tag Sarah in this. Okay. So if anybody else has any questions for me, now is your chance. All right, let me go ahead and see what other pending questions there are that I can answer, as those of you that are here live are typing your questions in for me. So Carol's question about sciatic pain. Let me go ahead over to my link for sciatica. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the information that I want to give you. So let me turn this around and zoom in. Now, the important thing to understand with sciatica is not so much the essential oils per se. Now, you can use analgesic essential oils. You can use essential oils that are going to be useful for pain. But what you want to use are these stretches. So if you have sciatica pain, there are several stretches that you can use. And I do have a link here to a YouTube video that can, I think it's on YouTube. No, it's not. Okay, so this is a link that has mini videos included on the page that you can use for stretching. So these are super cool. So these automatically play for you. There are different poses that you can use for stretching that area, and they're super, super cool. So go ahead and check out those stretches, because I'm telling you, using stretches is going to help get in there. There are some essential oils that can be great for topical pain relief. But when it comes to sciatica, which is a very deep issue, like it's really a pinched nerve issue oftentimes, and a muscular issue as well sometimes, that can be very, very hard to reach with the topical application of essential oils. So check out those stretches for sciatica pain relief. After you do those stretches, I would suggest then applying those pain relief essential oils topically. And that will be the best bang for your buck when it comes to getting effective sciatica pain relief. So check out those stretches and let me know if that is something that is working for you. So great question. And Carol, I kind of feel like you're in our recipes club, and if so, I actually have more detailed information in there. I'm actually looking you up right now because I feel like you've joined that. Let me do a search. Yes, you are in there. Awesome. So I can help you a little bit more also in there. So we do have specific sciatica pain recipes in there too, and I can help work with you on those as well. So good job for you. This is your lucky day. I can be of more help than I could if you weren't part of our recipes club. Perfect. So is there anyone else out there that has questions for me when it comes to using essential oils? I can help you. Is a bulging disc pushing on a nerve root? And yes, exactly. So if you have, I would see a chiropractor for that. That's what I would suggest. They can help with that bulging disc. They can help stretch out your spine to where that bulging disc can be sucked back into place. Maybe not on the first visit, but that is something that they can work with you over time. Hopefully just a few visits to help that, because that is really, in any situation, you want to get to the root of the issue. You want to get to, okay, why am I having this pain? Yes, essential oils can be helpful in the meantime. Yes, there are things that you can do in the meantime for certain issues. But if you can fix the issue, then that is going to be awesome, because then you don't need to apply anything at all. Aloha, Deborah. It's great to have you here. If you have any questions for me when it comes to using essential oils, just let me know in the comments below, and I will do my very best to answer you. There's another question that I want to answer from Owen, and I'm going to answer this while you guys are typing in your questions. Owen has a question about absolutes versus essential oils. He's asking if absolutes retain the beneficial properties of the plant after they have been through the chemical extraction and alcohol distillation process to become an absolute. He says, to be honest, I'm not sure I'm even asking the question properly. From what I've read, the low temp steam distillation for essential oils appears to have minimal impact on the beneficial properties of the plant. However, it seems to me using chemicals for extraction could destroy the material. The CO2 extraction method also appears to be fairly gentle compared to chemicals. Thanks in advance. So, to answer the question, let me tag Owen in here and let him know that I am answering him. So, an absolute extraction, it's just one of the extraction methods. So we have steam distillation, which is the most common extraction methods. We have absolute, which is generally used for delicate flowers such as jasmine and rose. We have the CO2 extraction method or distillation method, which is more common now. We are getting more and more essential oils that are being extracted in this way. And yes, it is more gentle than steam, but all three are going to retain the therapeutic properties of the plant matter that is being used in that extraction process. Usually the determining factor whether something is extracted via absolute or steam distillation or one of the other ones is going to be what the plant material is made out of. So again, the jasmine flowers, rose flowers, any delicate flowers, absolute is going to be best for. So the flowers are actually steeped in a solvent. Generally, it's going to be hexane, but it can be any solvent. And that is let sit there for a determined amount of time at a determined temperature. Generally, it's room temperature. And then all of the flower petals are drained out of there, and you are left with the absolute, which is not technically an essential oil. A lot of times that solvent is also removed and you are left with a more concentrated product. It used to be that they would recommend, if you are using an absolute, that you avoid if you are pregnant and all of that, because of the traces of solvent that remained were much higher back in the day. But these days, in modern times, they're actually able to use an absolute as an extraction method and leave very, 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 very little traces of solvent behind. So we are now comfortable. Yes, you can apply jasmine absolute topically while you're pregnant, and you don't have to worry about the traces because they're very small. They're very little. But yeah, steam distillation is the most common one. I believe CO2 is more gentle. So the therapeutic properties are going to probably be a bit more full. We just don't know yet. It's still relatively new, but we do know that it's a more gentle process. We do know that the aromas are generally going to be a little bit more pleasant. And we are assuming that therapeutically they're probably a little bit better as well. But whether that's 2% better, 20% better, we yet don't exactly know that. So I hope that helped to answer your question. It's usually preferred that you do get the essential oil over the absolute, but it's really, really expensive to get rose and jasmine essential oils. And the solvent extraction is going to be best for those because the steam distillation for delicate flowers pretty much destroys them. So you pretty much don't have any option when it comes to that. But excellent question. Super. So I'm seeing a bunch of questions from you guys. I love it. Awesome. So Enid is asking how you get in the recipe club. So let me give you a link, Enid, so that you can find more information on getting in the recipe club. Let me find the question. So for some reason, Facebook is only showing me the last 4 comments. So I am just going to put it in a comment, unfortunately not replying to you. But there is a link there for you so you can check out more information about the EO Recipes Club. And if you have any questions as you are scrolling, please go ahead and let me know. Michelle is saying, actually, let me go ahead and click this Perfect. I'm curious about Elizabeth Van Buren's transition blend. It has been amazing for people grieving. Alrighty there. Let me go ahead and do a Google search and see what I can find. So we have Elizabeth Van Buren, and it was called a transition blend. So what I can tell you is if this blend is safe and if it appears to be effective. Okay, so let me go ahead to blends. It didn't pull it directly up. Let me scroll down here. It must be on the second page, and then I can check it out for you. I am not seeing it. Okay, let me go back to that weird page that Google brought me to. I am not sure if this is currently available. Let me show you what I'm seeing, and we can go from there. So this is what I'm seeing. When I go up to shop and I try to find it under the blends, it's not bringing information up for me. If this reflects what you have, let me know. Sandalwood, spikenard, and cedarwood. So this is... Okay, so this is a grieving blend. It's possible that the reason why she has formulated it in this way is because they're sedative essential oils, which can be helpful for calming people down. To be honest, my grief blend does not have... It has other essential oils in it as well that speaks on the emotional level. And I'm not seeing what these are, that those are included here. That's not to say this wouldn't be effective. Sandalwood is sedative. Cedarwood is sedative. Spikenard is kind of sedative as well. So I would say that it probably... Oh, wait a minute. Additional essential oils include... Okay, that's a little bit better. So we have grapefruit, which oddly, that's kind of energizing, so it's an interesting combination. I do agree with rose and geranium. Those are definitely the two that came to mind as being very lacking in this blend, so I'm glad to see these are also included because this definitely makes it a much more effective blend. And then the frankincense. So yes, I would say that this would be an effective blend. I'm okay with this. I like it. So I would say yes, that would be a good one to use. Let me just get back here. Okay. Yes. So I would agree. I am not surprised to hear that that would be an amazing blend for grieving. Yes. I would definitely, by the way, I would definitely inhale that. There are some essential oils that have extremely low topical maxes involved. So this is not something that I would suggest using in a roller bottle. I would definitely suggest adding to a personal inhaler and using that way. Let me see. I love that I can actually add your comments here too. Okay, so let's add this one. Knee replacement surgery. Love any ideas how I can use essential oils in my therapy and recovery? So I would definitely suggest some blends or essential oils that are great for pain, such as copaiba. Helichrysum is also great for pain. But if you are on any medications, that is something that I would want to work with you on. And although I don't do one-on-one personal consultations because they're generally, a couple $100, I can help you out better in the EO Recipes Club if you are a member. For some reason, I cannot see your name here. It's just showing you as a gray person. So if you happen to be in the EO Recipes Club, go ahead and leave a comment in our Facebook group, and I can work with you with the medications you're on, with the exact dilution that is best for you and the essential oils that you have on hand. See if you happen to have any already that will work great, and I can help you with that. It can be a little tricky when you just had surgery, but I can help you with that. Angela. Why is it not saying I can add your comment to broadcast, Angela? I don't know why. That stinks. When making a cleaning solution, castile, water, and essential oil, can alcohol be added to prevent bacterial growth? And how long can these mixtures be stored safely? Ooh, you went there, didn't you, girl? You so went there. Okay, so we have the very hot topic of, do you add preservatives to your essential oil blends that are used for cleaning? So let me be clear on my opinion on this. If you are using Castile soap, you can add essential oils to them to further enhance the power of the soap. I love Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, but there are other brands out there as well. I love using peppermint and eucalyptus. My kids are old enough I can do that. I love even almond is a great plain one, and I like citrus as well. There's a bunch of different flavors, a bunch of different aromas out there. So I like to use that as my soap base when I make my own soap. You can add your own essential oils to it. It's not necessary if you are already getting the peppermint and eucalyptus. But if you get the unscented and you want to add tea tree and lemon essential oils to that, that is my dynamic duo when it comes to cleaning, tea tree and lemon essential oils. So I would absolutely go ahead and add that to the soap. The soap is perfectly formulated. You can also dilute the soap down. It is highly concentrated. Castile soap is created for you to dilute it. That's not to say that you can't use it at its full strength. I have added full strength Castile soap to my foaming soap pump, just the soap, and you only need like one pump and you're good. It's very thick and it cleans really well. If you are more frugal, and believe me, a whole huge thing of Castile soap from Dr. Bronner's is like $10 or $15 depending on where you're getting it and how much, and that lasts a long time. But if you wish to dilute it by adding some water, it is okay. It is a concentrated soap. So for that specific soap, that is totally fine. You don't need to add alcohol to the soap. The soap is great as it is. Now, if you are making your own soap, there may be other things that you want to add preservative-wise when you are making your soap from scratch. But if you are purchasing a ready-made soap, you're fine. If you are purchasing a ready-made lotion, you can add your essential oils to it. It already has its preservatives in it. It's fine. If you have plain unscented moisturizing cream that you want to add essential oils to, it is fine. You do not need to add an additional preservative. Essential oils are antimicrobial. They are antibacterial by nature. So introducing essential oils, which are antimicrobial, into something like a Castile soap or a lotion or something that's already made and already created to have those preservatives already in it for you, you don't have to worry about adding an additional preservative or anything to that. Now, a step further, because you did mention water as a part of cleaning solutions. You can use water as your base. I prefer to recommend distilled water. Some areas of the country have really bad water. So if you are using distilled water and you want to add essential oils to the distilled water, you can do that. You can absolutely do that without adding any additional preservative. Essential oils are fine. They last in their little bottles just fine, right? So if you are adding your essential oils to the water, it's fine. I personally like adding my essential oils to hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is like a natural bleach, and it also kills germs wonderfully. I know a lot of people, when you start getting into being a crunchy mama, you find vinegar as being recommended. That's what I started out with using as well, and then we discovered that hydrogen peroxide is actually more effective, and it's readily available, and it's inexpensive. So you can add your essential oils to the hydrogen peroxide. Now, whether you add your essential oils for cleaning to the hydrogen peroxide or to the water, you want to make sure that you shake it up before spritzing on your counters or wherever that you are cleaning, just to make sure the essential oils are being kind of mixed in. I say kind of mixed in because essential oils don't truly mix with anything other than an oil. So, but if you shake it up really well as you're spritzing, you can tell by the aroma the essential oils are making it through and out onto your counter as well. So that's what I would recommend. You do not have to worry about any bacterial growth as long as you are using them as I just described to you in the last however long that I was on my soapbox for, pun intended. As far as how long these mixtures can be stored safely, I generally recommend not making up more than about 8 ounces or 12 ounces at a time, just to make sure you are going through it before the essential oils expire. But you don't have to worry about generally about them going bad. Essential oils at the shortest are going to last 1 year at minimum. if not more than that. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Angela. If you have any questions about my information that I just shared with you, please go ahead and let me know, and I will clarify. Yay, I said your name perfectly. I typically butcher names. So thank you so much. I'm so glad to know that I said your name perfectly. Yay! Yay, Enid. Okay, you are welcome, Michelle. Let's see, add to broadcast. So I can't see, as you can see. I can't see your name. I can't see your face. I apologize. How can you tell if you are getting sweet fennel or bitter fennel? Great question. Let me see here. E, F, G. Does anybody else kind of go through the alphabet a bit too when you're like trying to search for stuff, or is it just me? E, F, G. Alrighty, so excellent question, and that's what I was afraid of. Because they have the same botanical name now, don't they? So let me take out my copy of Essential Oil Safety and see. Generally, when you can't tell from the botanical name, you can tell from the GCMS report, which is what not every company unfortunately offers, so you may not always be able to tell. But constituent-wise, you should be able to tell by the amount of constituents in. So we have bitter fennel, we have sweet fennel, and FYI, the sweet fennel is the one that you want to avoid. It is not recommended at all for any purpose. It is potentially carcinogenic, number one, and most importantly, and do we need to go on from there? No, but I will. It's a reproductive hormone modulator. It's not recommended during pregnancy or breastfeeding. It's also anticoagulant and not recommended around your pets. Clearly, right? So that is not one that I recommend. Also has a low topical max, by the way. Bitter fennel is one that is also not safe during pregnancy and breastfeeding and does also have a low topical max, but other than that, it's okay to use. So it's very important to know the difference between the two. Both bitter and sweet fennels have large amounts of anethol. I believe, see, what is the constituent? Yes, the estragol. So estragol is the constituent that is higher in bitter. Sorry. Let me see. It is, yes. So the range is actually higher in the bitter than it is the sweet. This is why that bitter fennel, even though it's safe for all ages to use, it does have a topical max. That is based on the estragol content. Let's see. It just takes a little bit to like go on. Let's see, we have high amounts of, no, we don't. You have to look at the botanical name, okay? You have to look at the botanical name, and then you have to look at the GCMS report. There's just a lot of constituents that are in between the two of them. So what Essential Oil Safety is saying for the sweet fennel is that it generally has a more toxic Z-anthanol isomer in it. It also can be adulterated with monoterpene hydrocarbons such as limonene with synthetic anethol. Yeah. So there is a little bit of difference. I can actually take pictures and show you so that you can see. Okay. Let me see, bitter. So that also is a reproductive hormone modulator. Huh. My editor was fired, let me tell you. My editor was absolutely fired when it came to editing this book. Yeah, so like most things, look up in Essential Oil Safety to determine what the constituents are in the essential oil. Sometimes you can tell from the botanical name. Sometimes you can tell from the botanical name plus chemotype. Other times you have to go to the GCMS report to see what the differences are. Okay, so let's see what the next one is. You are welcome. A pinched nerve. So, Kiara, you want to look for analgesic essential oils. So, essential oils specifically that are high in the therapeutic properties of analgesic therapeutic properties. A pinched nerve, sometimes depending on where it is, like this is a little bit of a general question. If you have more specific information for me, let me know. Sometimes exercises can be good, like we talked about sciatica a while ago. There are specific exercises that can be helpful for that, along with topical application of some essential oils such as copaiba and helichrysum. The dilution, it just kind of all depends on your specific situation. If you are a member of the EO Recipes Club, then I can sit down and work with you with that. Specifically, because I do not do like one-on-one deep thorough concentrations. I would need to know if you're on medication, kind of where's the pinched nerve, kind of all of that sort of information, so that I can better help you have a more effective result. How can I get information about the club and getting into the club? You can go to eorecipesclub.com. Also, I can add a more direct link. Sometimes Facebook doesn't like to redirect domains, because that goes directly to my https leahjacobson.com/recipes page, and you can find more information about the club over there. Let me know if you have any questions about that, by the way. Is it true that ingesting, sorry, I cannot see your name as you can see. Is it true that ingesting a drop of high frequency oil like frankincense is really good for your body? Let's not get into the frequencies. I'm not going to get into the frequencies of essential oils right now. But I do not recommend ingesting or adding essential oils to your water. So I do have more information on my podcast that I will link you to so that you can, if you don't want to listen to it, I do have a transcript available as well, but it's not a good idea to add essential oils to your water. Water and essential oils, they don't mix. They float on the surface of the water. They can hit your insides at full concentration. And if they don't cause any irritation on the insides, your liver still has to deal with it. So it's really, really not the best thing to do. However, there are a couple of situations where ingesting essential oils, but not in your water, different ways, can be beneficial. So there's two different ways, two different essential oils that I personally actually am all for recommending in certain situations. But for the whole story, go ahead and click that link below. That will bring you to my podcast on my website, again, as well as a transcript if you don't want to listen to it. Let's see, headache relief oil, headache relief. So there are several different, let me actually find a link for you because I have more information available at my link, and then I will give you some information verbally as well in a moment. So let me add this link for you here for headaches. Sorry, for some reason I can't like reply directly to you, but the link is there. Hopefully you can see it in the comments below. There are different reasons why people get headaches. It can be stress, it can be dehydration. So those are things that you want to take a note of and try to deal with that. If you're dehydrated, drink some water. If you are stressed, try to remove the stress. I know it's impossible to be completely stress-free, but if you're in a situation that is constantly causing you stress, that being out of that, kicking people out of your lives or whatever that you need to do, can be helpful for reducing the amount of headaches. So make sure it's not something that you can prevent in that sense. If you are dehydrated, again, drinking water can help that. Staying hydrated can help that. But there are also some essential oils that can be useful for headaches as well. Let me go ahead. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to share my screen with you so you can see. This is the information found at the link that I gave you. So try inhalation before using topically is a good idea. I know a lot of people want to jump right into rolling on essential oils. That typically isn't going to be the most effective way to use those essential oils. So try inhalation first. I also, like I just mentioned, about simple fixes such as drinking water, etc. Yes, so keep in mind that some headaches can get worse with lengthy exposure to aromas. Some people, strong aromas actually trigger headaches or migraines, just like bright lights and loud sounds can. So keep that in mind. If that is you, then you want to definitely avoid using essential oils in this situation. You can use a massage blend topically if you have some actual physical throbbing and pain. And I do recommend a 5% dilution. So I do have specific recipes over in my EOS recipe club, and I can tweak and customize and personalize those for you based on your needs, based on the essential oils that you have on hand, based on if you have medications, all of that stuff, so that I can create a recipe for you that will be effective and or try to get to the bottom of why you are having those headaches. Great question. So you are welcome, Angela. Pinched nerve in arm. So this is something that this is a follow-up to the those of you just jumping on. Kara asked me a little while ago what can be used for a pinched nerve. So this is something that probably massage will also help with a lot, in addition to those analgesic essential oils, like I mentioned, the copaiba and the helichrysum. Probably a 3 to 5% dilution. But again, if you are already inside our EO Recipes Club, then I can do much better for you on spending the time, taking the time to get an effective recipe for you that will work for you. But you can try massage as well. Erica, hey Erica! I'm planning on doing peppermint and clary sage in my brand new personal inhaler to help with headaches. Awesome. That sounds fantastic. Very, very effective. Like to see. Hey Megan! Actually, are you tagging a Megan? I can't see anybody's name. I can only see the comment. I'm assuming you're tagging Megan. So thanks so much for tagging your friend. So excellent question. So as for asthma, I'm going to pull up our asthma page. Asthma is super tricky, and the short answer to your question is some of the same essential oils that can help with asthma actually can trigger an attack. So I personally am not comfortable saying, try it and see if you stop breathing. I personally am not comfortable telling you that. So the link that you can go to, which I will scroll down for you as well, is /asthma, using eossafely.com/asthma. And this is the, scrolled really quickly. This is the information that I have for you. So you have to be super, super careful using essential oils with asthma. There are some essential oils that can actually trigger an attack. The same essential oils that can actually help asthma. So if you've already been exposed and you already know if some of these essential oils are useful, excellent. But just as a warning, there are some like eucalyptus, oregano, peppermint, rosemary, and wintergreen that can actually make asthma worse. So again, I am not comfortable telling you to try it and see. My stance is be very, very careful with essential oils if you have asthma, because they can trigger a reaction. They can worsen symptoms. So you want to be extremely, extremely careful. But you can find all of the information here for asthma. That's the information that we have available. Let's see what else. You are welcome, Kiara. You are very welcome. Great. So if anyone else has any last minute questions before I get off, now is your chance. So glad some of you were able to catch me live, and I hope I have been helpful. If you have any questions, you can use this group. Post your question at the top of this group, and an admin will tag you. An admin, aka Roxanne, will tag you in the post that helps you with these situations. You can check out the website using eossafely.com. There's a search function that works a lot better than the search function right here in our group, where you can bring up all of the keywords. We have so much information over there. We also have some resources like the essential oil safety files that I was showing you guys as I was going over different safety information. This particular book here that goes over the safety of 242 different essential oils and all of the safety, but we have lots and lots of resources over there that help save you time and give you answers right away. And of course, we have the EO Recipes Club that you can join as well. That's found in the library, where if you want customized formulations for you, I can do that for you right inside the club. We also have a database of recipes all ready to go in there that you can also try right off the bat. Perfect. Some last minute questions. We have Angelica asking what is good for a 4-year-old to prevent getting sick during cold and flu season besides hand washing and elderberry syrup. I was going to say elderberry syrup and wash your hands. The other thing that you can use is anti-germ essential oils. So let me find, let me see where that is. I think I actually have. Okay, so this is the link that you want for that. Let me post that. Dun, 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 dun. More specifically, tea tree and lemon essential oil are also going to be super, super effective. This post needs to be revamped. It's very, very long and there's tons and tons and tons of information. But you can, for germs, you can diffuse lemon and you can diffuse tea tree essential oils as well to help kill germs in the air, to help kill airborne germs. But yeah, keeping your hands washed. I also have a hand sanitizer recipe that I can add for you down here as well. And elderberry syrup is amazing. Let me tell you, that is amazing. Hand sanitizer. So I'm going to actually give that link to the elderberry as well, because for those of you who haven't yet seen it, oh, I can actually do this too. Look at that. Hand sanitizer. We have elderberry as well. So that's what I would totally recommend. So on the elderberry link, we actually have information in general as well about colds too that you can use. And it's not just the elderberry syrup recipe, which is amazing and fantastic, and everyone should have some on hand. Let's see, teething discomfort for an infant or toddler. Absolutely. That would be using eossafely.com/teething. So let me give you that link. I can actually turn this around and show you as well. So let me add this link here. Let me get back to here. Perfect. Teething. So I can't see your comment on here. Like I said, Facebook is only showing me 4. So let's go ahead to our teething link right here. And I make sure that you know that clove essential oil is not recommended. I know that you will see that as being recommended by a lot of people. It is actually not, in fact, safe. There's information here on why that's not safe. And then I have information on safe ways and things that you can do to relieve teething pain, including chamomile hydrosol, chamomile extract, chamomile tea, including chamomile tea popsicles, as well as some other ideas here. So that is what I would recommend. Check out that link for more information. It has lots and lots of information for you. Can you orally take peppermint oil and lemon? I do not recommend taking essential oils by adding them to your water. There are a couple of circumstances where adding essential oils to a capsule can be beneficial. Peppermint happens to be one of those if you have IBS. There's more information at this link that I'm going to share with you about using essential oils internally. It's never going to be added to your water, and no, lemon is never one that I personally would recommend for any reason. It strips the grease off your oven. I personally don't feel like my gut bacteria being messed with and stripped off, so I like to keep my gut bacteria happy. Lemon essential oil, therefore, will stay far away from my gut bacteria. Bursitis. Let me look that up. That is an inflammation of the bursa, which is a fluid-filled sac in the joints. So, essential oils can help with pain relating to inflammation. You want to look for analgesic essential oils. There are also anti-inflammatory essential oils too that can help with that. Anything that you can do to help reduce that inflammation internally is going to be great. Whether that's exercises, whether that's putting your leg up, I do not know what your doctor is going to recommend, but I would definitely, this is a medical condition. This is definitely something that I would recommend seeing a medical professional about so that they can help fix the problem. Because applying pain relieving essential oils topically, while it can help with that pain, is not going to actually heal and actually fix that issue. So I would definitely see a doctor for that. For a 1-year-old that has bronchitis, what would you recommend? I would recommend my anti-congest blend. So let me find that for you. And let me actually, sorry, it's really hard for me to type even the most simple things when I'm trying to talk as well. I don't know if anybody else has that issue. So this is what I would recommend. Let me first add the link to the comments. Then I'm going to flip this around and show you what that link is. So this is the link for congestion. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you guys on your mobile so you can see a little bit better. We want anti-congestant essential oils, clearly, that are decongestant, expectorant. For bronchitis and pneumonia specifically, a steam inhalation is going to be effective, except you mentioned a 1-year-old. So a 1-year-old for a year-old. So a 1-year-old, that is something that is going to be a little more tricky. I would probably suggest the personal inhaler wafted under the nose is what I would suggest. Do not attempt a steam inhalation with a 1-year-old. This is generally best for ages 10 and above just because of the intensity. So let's see here. So you can make your own anti-congest blend. I don't recommend eucalyptus, rosemary, or peppermint under the age of 10. I recommend clicking on this link here and downloading the PDF. Now this PDF has several pages of information. And the several pages of information includes all of the essential oils that you can use instead of eucalyptus, rosemary, and peppermint that will be safe for your 1-year-old. So that's what I would recommend that you do. Go ahead over there to that link, scroll down, click on the big image that has the child safe alternatives to eucalyptus, rosemary, and peppermint that are effective for congestion guide, and you will have a several page guide that has the recipe in there, that has all of the essential oils that you can use that are safe as well. And that will give you probably more information than you asked for, but it's very, very thorough. So I hope that is helpful for you, Nan. Denise, why can't I click on your name, Denise, and show it live like I can for the other ones? I do not know. So let me find this over here and click this off. So Denise, let me read your question. Your question is, I have hemp essential oil and the top has gone very sticky, sort of crystallizing, if that makes sense. Is this usual? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. Essential oils should not crystallize. In rare cases, corn mint, which is similar to peppermint, can crystallize if frozen. But hemp essential oil, I'm not aware of that being anything special where that should crystallize. So no, that to my knowledge is not a typical thing. Okay, myrrh is thick. Okay, so if you're saying crystallizing to me is one thing, that means the actual essential oil is thickened and crystallized. If you mean that it's super thick, somewhat sticky and goopy on the top, I do not have experience with hemp essential oil as far as I personally don't have any. I should probably get some, but I do not have that to know. But yes, myrrh can do that. Vetiver can do that. Any resinous essential oils, sometimes even frankincense can do that. Although I do find frankincense is generally a lot easier to pour than myrrh and vetiver are. But it can get very sticky. I wouldn't say it crystallizes because the actual essential oil isn't crystallized, but for myrrh, can get sticky around the top. If anybody else happens to have any hemp essential oil and can contribute to the conversation, please do. You are welcome, Nan. Okay, so this user has hemp essential oil and it's not like that. the myrrh gets gummy around the cap. Okay, great. Thank you so much for adding that input. Bella, quick question. Is it okay to use black pepper and copaiba in a blend together? Yes. I made an anti-inflammatory blend with a couple of others, and my mom said she read not to use those particular two together. No. There are no essential oils that you shouldn't use together. That was one of my initial questions being a newbie user as well. I'm like, okay, are there any two that you shouldn't mix? Like we know, like, was it bleach and ammonia? Don't mix them, right? There are no essential oils that you should not mix together. Now, of course, you don't want to mix sedative and energy essential oils together because that's not going to be effective. You don't want to use, kind of contradicting therapeutic properties essential oils together simply because that's not going to be helpful in your situation. But as far as two that shouldn't be mixed together, no, I think black pepper and copaiba together for a pain blend would be amazing. So I don't know where your mom read it. I know you will find all sorts of information online, but I am so glad, Bella, that you asked me, because as a certified clinical aromatherapist, I can give you an answer that is accurate, and you absolutely can mix those two together. Shannon says, I've had an organic fair trade mentha piperita crystallize around the top due to very high menthol content. That can happen with high menthol. That could possibly be, well, it's not the correct botanical name, but typically peppermint, though, won't do that. It's the corn mint that will, and only if frozen. So that's super interesting to know. Let's see. Christy's asking, what essential oils are good for sciatica back pain blends? So I did answer this earlier. I know I've been live for a very long time, almost an hour, but let me give you the link to the sciatica that I mentioned earlier. Sciatica. I just had a note slipped under my door. So sciatica link, perfect. That's the one I would recommend for you. Ding. So you can find more information over there. And it's more on the exercises than the pain blend. For sciatica, you want to actually really get to the root of the issue, and you want to deal with why you are having that pain. And yes, you can apply essential oils in the meantime as that's being fixed. Thank you. Just looked again, and it's not crystallizing, just very sticky. Okay, no problem. That's good to know, because you know what? I was completely unaware of that. So now, because you asked me that question, Denise, for some reason I can't click on you to add to the broadcast. For some reason, not for some reason. Now that you've asked me that question, I am now aware that hemp can be sticky around the top as well. So that's good. I learned something from you today. So great to know. Thank you so much. Bella, thank you. Do you feel these are good choices for anti-inflammatory and pain? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Audrey. Sorry, Audrey, I cannot click on your comment. It may be that it's too long. So what essential oils do you find help with menstrual cramps? I tried a blend of clary sage, sweet marjoram, and copaiba, 3 dilution and a roll-on, and it didn't help at all. Really? That actually looks like it wouldn't be bad. I also tried diffusing clary sage with marjoram and lavender. I'm sorry, that didn't work for you. If you have geranium, that can be effective. So I would suggest trying that, but typically that is a blend. If I saw that on a website, I would go, that looks like it would be useful for many people. So for cramping, a lot of times inhalation will work. So here's the thing. Let's try tweaking this. If you used a personal inhaler instead of a diffuser, you will get a much more intense inhalation. You are adding the 15 drops to the wick inside of your inhaler, or you can even fill it with Himalayan salt. And you are adding the essential oils to the wick or the salt. You are screwing the lid on, which has holes in it, and you can breathe the 15 drops of essential oil. This is going to be much more effective than diffusing. Generally, diffusing is more ambient, it's more subtle, it's not going to be as effective as using a personal inhaler. So I would try that to see if you get a more effective result with that. I am surprised, though, that the 3% dilution didn't work well for you. But yes, there are other essential oils that you can use too. There are not just those. Let me go ahead to my PMS link. I do have, by the way, formulations in our recipes club. But I also have some information over here that I can share with you. Let me get your comment up so that I can link to it. So here is a link to the PMS page that we have on the website. Let me go ahead and share this with you here. So this is the information we have. You want to use essential oils calming to the limbic system that are neurotonic, like bergamot and geranium are the two that I mentioned here. Again, I have some recipes over in our EO Recipes Club that are more thorough. Let's see here. Also works with cranky teens and toddlers. I do have a topical recipe as well for physical PMS issues such as cramping. So in addition to the ones that you mentioned, Audrey, give bergamot and geranium a try. Careful on the bergamot, it does have a low topical max unless you are getting the steam distilled, but your typical cold pressed is going to have a 0.4% dilution topical max. So bergamot is one that is best inhaled. Also geranium. And yes, even though you have physical cramping, the inhalation can also help with that. I would try using geranium instead of clary sage and see if that helps. You can use bergamot as well. But inhalation can be very effective even for physical issues in this situation. Another thing that you can try, Audrey, is you can try upping the dilution to about 5%. But generally 3% is going to be effective for that. So there are different things you can play with. If you are in our recipes club, there are so many in there right now. I don't have everybody's names memorized that's in there. I can work with you again more and more on this to help get a solution for you that will work for you. It's okay, Christy, you just got on, no problem. Yeah, no, I realize. I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't rude me saying I've already talked about this. I didn't mean it in that way at all. I just meant that I have that link handy because we did talk about it a little while ago, and that's why I know it's like I've been on an hour. I don't expect everybody's been on here the whole time. Bella, what other suggestions for pain? Helichrysum is great for pain. Lavender can be great for pain as well. But black pepper and copaiba alone, like, I wouldn't necessarily add anything to that. What I would suggest that would be extremely good in enhancing the therapeutic effect of that blend is your carrier oil. Carrier oils are super, super important, especially when it comes to pain. Let me see before I talk about that. I think I have. Perfect. I do. It was correct after all. I think I have. Hang on 1 second. Perfect. Okay. So, let me give you this link as well, and I know I kind of hijacked my own self because I want to talk about carriers as well, but I realize we also have a link here that I want to add. Sorry, I have things all over. I zoomed in so much on that other one when I'm over here on the page I don't need to zoom in on. It's like I can't see anything. Okay, so there's a link for you that actually has more information, which I will screen share in one moment. So back to the carrier. If you have trauma oil, if you have arnica oil, those are going to be amazing for pain. Those are great for pain on their own. So when you add essential oils to those carrier oils, you are going to get a much, much more effective result. Likewise, arnica lotion can be great for pain as well. So if you have any one of those would be perfect as a carrier to enhance the therapeutic properties of the black pepper and copaiba. You really don't need to add any, you can add more essential oils, but it's not completely necessary. So let me screen share with you. So this is the muscle ache information. And I have 3 different recipes in the EO Recipes Club, but I have information here as well that is free, clearly, as you can see. If you have a hot pain, you can have better results by using cooling essential oils like eucalyptus and peppermint. Hopefully this is for you, not for children, because those aren't safe for all ages. If you have an icy pain, using warming essential oils can be useful, such as cedarwood and ginger. And then you have some neutral essential oils that, like helichrysum and lavender, that can be useful for icy or warming. But I do have several / many formulations for you inside the EO Recipes Club, eorecipesclub.com. And I can work with you to tweak. I make custom recipes. I make personalized blends for people in that club. I'm able to work with you basically one-on-one and give you that personalized information over there, because you may be on medications. There may be something that may not end up working. There's only so much I can do in the limited time that we have here, but that can give you some other information as well. Okay, so let me go to the next question. I want to make sure I didn't skip any. Okay, here we have, maybe I should try inhalers for calming my kids instead of diffusing. Yeah, it's going to be more effective. Not to say that diffusing isn't effective at all, but it's going to be more subtle. So sometimes subtle is preferred, sometimes subtle is great, but a personal inhaler is going to be a lot more effective, generally speaking. Yes, so the Recipes Club is a paid service. You can find more information at eorecipesclub.com. It's where I am able to work with you basically one-on-one without the $200 consulting fees and doing all that. There are a lot of recipes already in there that I've formulated for you, but I do custom recipes as well. So if you don't happen to have one of the essential oils that I suggest, if you need me to tweak it for you, if you are using it and you are getting some relief, but you would like a little bit more effective relief, we can work with you on the frequency of application. We can work with you on the dilution percentage as well. So we do have a members only Facebook group that we do discuss this in too. And that way everyone kind of gets information as well. Obviously, if you have anything that's completely personal, you can feel free to email me about that. But generally, this is how I'm able to keep the costs down and more effective for you, is we work together in the group, and other people can check out that information as well and go, oh, that's really cool. Maybe I'll try that myself. So, yeah, there's more information again at eorecipesclub.com for more information. And if you are scrolling down that page and you have any questions for me, let me know. By the way, I've been including classes, the Essential Oil Safety Basics course, for those of you that remember the course from 2016, and I've released it a few times since. I've been actually trickling in those lessons too. And that course alone has an over $200 value to it. So I'm including that as well, so that you can really learn, like you guys just learned, personal inhaler is more effective than a diffuser. We go through all those details. We go through how close your diffuser should be to you, depending on, there's so many different kinds of diffusers as well. How many drops to add, how long to run, all of those nitty-gritty details is included as a bonus to the EO Recipes Club. So yeah, you can find all of that information at the link too. Christy said, I will try. Will dried arnica infused in a carrier oil work just as good as buying arnica oil already done? You can absolutely do your own infusion. You will have to play around with whether you heat it or not. You will have to play around with how long that you are doing that. I actually created some myself. I infused arnica flowers and jojoba oil, and I was letting it sit and sit and sit. Unfortunately, this was a few years ago, and due to a domestic violence situation, I had to leave my home with my kids and all that. So unfortunately, I left that behind. That really stank. So I have no idea how that ended up turning out. So disappointed. But you absolutely can infuse your own. I would suggest joining our herb group, learning about using essential oils safely. Let me go ahead and tag that in here. And we have, because I'm a certified herbalist as well, although my main focus is essential oils. But we have other herbalists as well in that group. So you can ask your question in there as far as exactly how long that it should be, where it should be. Some people feel that you should put it in your window, you should heat it. Others feel that it's more effective to put it in your closed closet. But anyways, you can find out more answers to that specifically if you want to make your own over there. But yeah, of course you can make your own. Absolutely make your own. Okay, for some reason I can add this to the broadcast even though it's long. So I don't know why some of your questions I can't click add to broadcast, so I apologize for that. Tumor pain for my dad. He has cancer and on his last days. Okay, so that kind of changes things here. So this is something that you definitely need more attention on. There's medications involved. There's a lot of stuff in here. So hopefully you can have the opportunity to join the EO Recipes Club so I can help you even further. But I know I've given you a lot of information already. We are just trying to keep him comfortable. Problem is he can't tell us what helps or not. Gotcha. So we have to watch for signs of discomfort. What delusion would you recommend for the extreme type of pain and how often to apply? I'm going to put the brakes on this right now simply because he's likely on medication. There's probably other things involved as well. So I really cannot help you further at this point without knowing all of that other information. So, yeah, medications, there's a lot of things involved here. So I am personally uncomfortable at this moment answering these questions live because it's now just got really complicated. So, not saying I'm not capable. I'm just saying that this is going to be a lot longer conversation than I can help you with live. Let's see. Audrey, can you tell me what the topical max for LMI is? I just read that it can be good for skincare, but I'm having mixed information on the topical max. Yes. So let me look that up for you. It does not have a topical max. I just wanted to be sure. Does not have a topical max. So it is great for skincare. It is excellent. It is wonderful to add to your facial care routine. I would suggest if it is for face and not body care, that you stick to a 1% dilution. That is the general rule of thumb that you want to stick to when it comes to using essential oils on your face, because it's a little bit more sensitive, generally speaking. You want to go easy, so I would suggest no more than a 1% for LMI. You are welcome, Bella. Alrighty, so I'm not seeing any more questions. So I hope you enjoyed this live. I've been going on for over an hour. And I think I'm going to get off now. If you guys have any more questions, you can throw them in the comments. And after I have dinner and hang out with my kids for a bit, I come on later, I can go ahead and dig in the comments and answer some more questions for you, I'm sure. But otherwise, go ahead and stick your comments in the pending post above where it says, let me see. If you go to the top of our group and where it says to post, to write something, stick all of your questions in there, and then we can appropriately tag you in the area where your question can be answered. Because believe me, this group is huge. We've had all the questions under the sun, and we have answers for you all ready to go that we can tag you in. So we want to be as helpful as possible in that way. So I hope you have a great evening. Thanks for hanging out. It was lots of fun. You guys had wonderful questions, and I hope you learned something. So I will talk to you guys later. See ya.